Hey everyone, now that the third and final book in the Understanding Domestic Abuse and Narcissism series has been published, I wanted to do a bit of a video to recap all of them, give you an overview of what each book is about and what you can expect to find and kind of the tools you'll gain from each book. Bear in mind all three books are written by a male domestic abuse survivor. They're written with men in mind. I do think that they are very useful for any abuse victim and also people looking to understand abuse, but especially for men because they are written from a male perspective with male victims, myself included, in mind. So let's go through them. So the first book in the series is Why Didn't You Just Leave Them? And Other Ignorant Things People Say About Abusive Relationships. Now, this book is my story. It contains my story in and out of the book, but it's more than just my story. It gives an overview of things like the different types of abuse, tools and techniques narcissists use against you. It gives tips for surviving when you can't get out, tips for getting out, tips for moving on. And all through it, I talk about examples of what happened in my life and the story I went through. So that is the first one. That's a really good starting point if you want to see, learn the basics around domestic abuse and narcissism, but also see what happened to someone else and, see that you're not alone. That's a really good starting point. Now, the second book in the series is called Such Reckless Hate, and this is real stories from male survivors of domestic abuse. Now, what this book is 10 stories from 10 different men about incidents that happened to them with domestic abuse. So it'll cover things from like physical abuse, emotional abuse, verbal abuse, financial abuse. There's different stories in there. It's men that wanted to come forward and tell their stories, but obviously couldn't do it themselves yet, so I've written it for them. It's also got my thoughts around each story, advice I gave them, things we discussed before and after. So if you want to see what happens behind closed doors to male victims, that's a really good book for that. And the third and newest book is called The Indifference of Good Men, How to Actually Help Someone in an Abusive Relationship. Now, what you'll find in this book is more information about like the different types of narcissism, abuse, etc., giving a good understanding of that for someone who is outside the relationship, like a friend or family member wanting to learn. It is also a good book for if you're the person, you're trying to help yourself, because don't be indifferent to yourself either. It also contains interviews from a male survivor of domestic abuse and a female survivor talking about what help they got from people in their life, what help they wish they got from people in their life. And again, it gives a guide and tips on how to actually help someone if you find out they are in an abusive relationship. And that goes for you as well if you're the person in the relationship. So all three books are available. You can check them out on my website. It's jaredwhitaker.com, or they're all available on Amazon in Kindle format and in paperback format. So those are the three books currently out in that series. I am starting work on a new series of books that focus on false allegations and parental alienation. But if you want to get a good understanding of domestic abuse, learn about it, help yourself heal or help someone else in your life, or just understand it, grab these three books. I think all three together on Kindle is the price of a movie ticket. So not expensive, but the information literally could save yours or someone else's life. So grab those books, have a look, and I hope you enjoy them.